Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome
Tuesday
back.
morning, November 22nd, and you are listening to the Daily Thread.
Okay.
You look a little bit different this morning.
Yes, I finally
got a haircut. Is that also a new yarmulke?
No, well, it's a yarmulke from Nissen Hirsch's bar mitzvah. You see, he has his initials on it.
Yeah.
I just like it. I like it better than the other yarmulkes.
Why?
It's smoother. It has a good look to it.
Before this haircut that you just got, which
When's
was
the last time I got a haircut?
Yeah.
I don't know. My hair was getting too long. You know what? I really don't pay attention to my haircut schedule like you do and your brothers do. But now that I watch these podcasts, I'm able to see what my hair looks like. I didn't like the way it looked yesterday, and I thought that it was time for a haircut. So
looks pretty good.
I went in this morning. It's not too short. Oh, my phone.
We're recording, answering phone calls now.
Okay.
So that's great.
And then I went in this morning to get a haircut. I get a scissor cut. Now you get a lawnmower cut. You know?
I think I have a good barber.
No, your hair's growing back already.
But you think it was too short?
What? Well, I don't know. I don't know what you guys. I don't know what you say to the barber when you walk in there.
Go probably 1.5. 1.5.
I don't know.
I
don't even know how that so-called scale works. I just get a haircut. I told him I went to Mel here on Central Avenue. I told Mel just make it a little shorter than you usually do, so I don't have to come back so soon.
So you don't remember how many months has it been before?
Let me see. I would say it's probably about 2 months.
Wow.
My hair, wherever I have hair, grows pretty fast.
But does it? Okay.
Where there's no hair, it's not a problem. No hair grows. So.
Well, I think our emails are gonna be flooded with positive feedback on your haircut.
You think so? Did anyone comment on yours a few days ago? Was it last
I
week?
think one person did. You know what's funny? I got
What'd
really interesting feedback on Shabbos. I was walking to shul and someone stopped me and he said, "You look better in person." So you heard it first there, I guess. I look better in person.
Well, I don't know. I was at a wedding Sunday night when you were at the Keenest, and I'd say we're doing this about 6, 7, 8 weeks.
Something like that.
And for the first time, people said, I watch your thing on the podcast every morning. And
did you tell them, "Oh, well, I've been publishing a newspaper and writing for the last 25 years"?
I get that too. I did a series of my own podcasts last year, if you remember, and the picture that appears over my column, which appears over all our regular writers' columns. I get recognized from that too. In Eretz Yisrael, I get stopped sometimes.
The picture's a little outdated, no?
No, it's from your wedding, actually. How long are you married? 3 years?
2018.
Almost 4 years, right? Yeah. Oh, wow. It's going to be 4 years pretty soon, right?
December.
All right,
Yeah.
so that picture's 4 years old.
You're preparing an anniversary gift for me?
Yes, as usual.
As usual?
Yes.
Well, so we're going to start off our day with some, interesting news out of the UK.
Okay.
They had an event, and I'll just show the video, and we'll explain it after. That is from outside of Buckingham Palace, I think in remembrance of the Holocaust. The chief rabbi was present, and they played, it's funny, like you'd think they'd play, Hava Nagila or something very traditional. Tikva. They played Moshiach.
I don't know. Shia Mendelowitz must have something to do with that. He must have been involved
think so?
in the production. Well, someone gave him the idea to play a Mordechai Ben David song.
It's really, really funny. So that's happening in the UK, and I saw a status, I think 5 Town Central, they wrote that even they can't wait for Moshiach to come. Even they're preparing for Moshiach's arrival.
Okay, that's a good observation.
Yeah, that is a good observation. But so here we are, another episode today. It's a busy news cycle. We have the FIFA World Cup that is happening right now in Qatar.
Yes.
I've heard some people call it Qatar, but it's Qatar.
It's either Qatar. It's Qatar or Qatar.
I got some criticism on the way I pronounced
Qatar.
No, Mauritius. I don't even remember.
I saw the way it was spelled.
I think it was spelled fine. Just I pronounced it wrong.
I don't know. Did you look it up?
I'll tell you. I'll play some voice notes of the way people. Someone texted me. It's Mauritius.
Mauritius. Okay.
And then, like, by the way, and like a really crazy amount of people said this to me. Like, I'll play.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Mauritius, not Mauritius.
Mauritius.
I didn't like botch it totally. And first of all,
listen,
I guess only the really wealthy people know what Mauritius is.
What's that have to do with
Speaking
wealth?
of, I don't know. I feel like it's like an island that you go to if you're really wealthy.
I don't know. I think it's an island where you're going when you're hiding from somebody and you don't want to be found. That might be the right place to go.
Oh, is that so?
That or Hurleyville, New York. Someplace.
Hurleyville, New York. How does that work?
No one's looking for anybody in Hurleyville. It's up there between Fallsburg and
I don't even know where Hurleyville came into your mind.
Exactly my point.
But speaking of really wealthy people, this doesn't only apply for them, but we want to give a shout out to our sponsor for today, and that is Preferred Van and Services.
Right.
Guys, comfortable 15-seater passenger vans, plenty of luggage space, and they can be reached via WhatsApp. You don't have to call anybody. You don't have to email anybody. Go reach them via WhatsApp. The link is in our description. That is Yankee Geller from Preferred Van and Services. The next time my father's going to the airport, that's who he's using. He's going to give him a call. So you want to travel in like high quality. You want to feel the white glove service. Go ahead and reach out to Preferred Van Services. Hit the link in the description, in the show notes, and get in touch with them. They are the number one choice in transportation.
That's very exciting. I hope to call them in a few weeks when we go to the airport.
God willing. So yeah.
Oh, I want to say about Qatar. You see, we live like
Qatar. You can't say Qatar.
Like the news announcers call it Qatar.
You serious?
It's QATAR.
I thought it's Qatar. It's Qatar.
It used to be Qatar, but now what? A lot of people the people in the U.S. government when they talk about it, it's Qatar.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's not
check
okay.
It out. You can check it out. And we see a lot of planes flying over. We're about 15 seconds. Planes fly over where we live, where we're talking to you from. Planes fly over here like 15 seconds before they hit the runway at JFK. And you'll see Qatari Airlines, through the day. And it's usually at
they have a Qatar Airlines. I thought it was just United Arab Emirates.
No, that's a different country. UAE is the Emirates. That's a different country. These are very oil-rich, wealthy countries. Now, Qatar, or Qatar if you prefer.
I prefer Qatar, yeah.
Okay, Qatar, not to be misstated as guitar. It's not a guitar. It's Qatar.
Very good.
Qatar is a very wealthy Gulf oil sheikdom. Big sponsors of Palestinians in Gaza, and there's an agreement between Qatar and Israel to allow them to ship hundreds of millions of dollars every month into the Gaza Strip.
1 second. Israel has an arrangement with Qatar that Qatar can send hundreds of millions of dollars into Gaza.
Right.
Why?
Well, it keeps the natives in Gaza. It keeps them very restful.
It also gives them rockets.
I don't know about that. That's probably something they have to work out. Israel has to figure out a way so that they don't use the money for rockets, but they're supporting the 1 or 2 million people that live in Gaza, number one. But the reason that Qatar is in the news today is with the World Cup. It's taking place right there, right now. And I spoke to Rabbi Mark Schneier, who's in Doha, Qatar, where the games are being played. And I found out, number one, the news was that for the first time there's direct flights from Tel Aviv to Doha. And about 10,000 Israelis are traveling back and forth between Tel Aviv and Doha. It's 1,100 miles.
From Israel?
Yes, I looked it up this morning. It's about the same distance from here to Florida.
Okay.
It's a 2-hour, 44-hour flight. And
2 hour and 44-minute flight.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said 2 hour, 44 hour.
No, 2 hours, 44 minutes flight.
I think that's Mauritius twice.
Right. I don't know Mauritius is. Do they have a Mauritius airline? I haven't seen Mauritius Airlines yet.
Let's see.
Maybe a little helicopter. Maybe a helicopter coming down.
You got to take a few flights.
But a lot of Jews, soccer fans. Now, I was in Israel a few years ago during the World Cup. And the World Cup in Israel, the Middle East, and Europe, that's like the World Series in the United States. People, the restaurants, the pizza stores, the clubs, Ben Yehuda, there's large screens everywhere. And all they do is watching guys running back and forth on the field.
Soccer is interesting. Ever been to a soccer match?
No. Have you?
I have. I went with Dovey Schreibers, Andy Scharf, Nissen. We went to a USA game. We went to USA versus Turkey.
Where, at Yankee Stadium?
No, it was in New Jersey. I think it was like in Red Bulls. I don't even know.
Who won?
I don't remember. I think USA won. It was pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie. It's a long game.
There's a lot of running back and forth.
There's also not a lot of goals. Like there's not a lot of action.
Listen, yesterday the big upset was that Saudi Arabia beat Argentina. Argentina, the South Americans are big on soccer. You know? And Saudi Arabia, beat them. I don't know what score, but that was a big victory for the Middle East countries. They're very excited about it, especially since the games are taking place in Doha.
Another headline from the World Cup is that the Iranian team did not sing their national anthem while it was being played.
I saw that. You think they're going to get in trouble when they go home? If they go home?
I think they're going to be headed, honestly.
I don't know. I hope not. I hope not for their sake. That would be painful. But I don't know. They're starting up with the regime in Iran. They're having their problems.
That was a statement.
That was a big statement.
What's going on in Iran that they're doing that?
Well, listen, Iran, the Iranian people are. There was once upon a time before you were born, Iran was a good country led by the Shah of Iran
before the 80s.
With a vibrant Jewish community, a large vibrant Jewish community, people traveling back and forth. They had elections. The family of the Pahlavi family, who was the Shah, they of course ran the country through the family, just like the
monarchy,
just like in Jordan, for example, today, or in Saudi Arabia.
Not like the monarchy.
Yeah, no. There's a little bit of a dictatorship, cross between a dictatorship and a monarchy. Anyway, the point about why was the Qatar in the news is because for the first time, besides having direct flights from Tel Aviv to Doha, they're also they're facilitating, accommodating kosher observant fans who come to the soccer games.
They have kosher food.
They have kosher food. So you can put up some of the pictures here. The thing in the news in the Israeli press was they said that the Qataris are not keeping their promise. They promised they're going to have hot food. But so far, there's only cold food.
Yeah, but it was like midnight the other night. I was just going through some statuses, and I saw you just had on your status like just bagels with like very little context. You just posted on your status, which I had just taught you recently how to do, post WhatsApp statuses. Right. But you were just posting like pictures of bagels.
That was a continuation. There was a number. I spoke to Rabbi Mark Schneier, who is in Doha.
And then you got inspired to post some bagels on your status.
He sent me a picture, which I even might use on the front page of the paper this week.
A picture of a bagel?
No, a picture of Rabbi Schneier with Rabbi Chitrik, who overseeing the kashrus in the kitchen. But the complaint from Israelis that traveled back and forth to Doha said there's no hot food. And the Qataris, they want hot pretzels, they want hot knishes.
Holy schnitzel.
All they're getting is, they want holy schnitzel maybe. All they're getting is bagels and cream cheese and a few other dishes. I don't know if you could see it.
Bagel and schmear?
Bagel and a schmear. Bagel and a schmear they're getting. So they were complaining about that, and they said that. And I said to Rabbi Schneier, I spoke to him on the phone the other day, on Sunday, and I said to him, but the Israeli press says that they didn't give them facilities to have a minyan. He says, Israelis are coming over. We don't know who's coming over. I don't think. We don't even know how many kosher people are coming over. All we know is we have the kosher food available to accommodate those that keep kosher. But like I said, they have 10,000 Israelis that are going to be traveling. You know the World Cup is a month long?
I don't really follow the World Cup.
Well, it's a month. It's funny. A month long.
I think it's the most popular sport in the world.
Probably.
And I'm a big sports guy.
You don't follow soccer, huh?
I think once upon a time during the summer, maybe
what do they call soccer in Europe?
Football.
Exactly.
Oh, you tried getting me?
Yeah. I want to see what if you're on your game.
Yeah. Speaking of football, Thanksgiving is coming up.
Oh yeah, that's a big football.
Are you a big Thanksgiving observer?
We used to be.
What do you mean you used to be? I don't remember ever observing Thanksgiving.
No,
I do remember that
my parents used to have
growing up.
Yeah, my father used to take us out for Thanksgiving, to a turkey dinner usually. Someplace.
Really?
Yeah.
But your father was from Russia.
Yeah, but he came in when he was 16 years old. We don't want to go down that route now. But he was an American boy. He felt that he came in when he was 16 years old. I'm talking about when we were older. When he was in his 50s and 60s. He used to take us out for Thanksgiving dinner. And then when he passed away, after that, sometimes me and my siblings would take my mother out.
I thought that was a birthday party for Bobby.
That's right. My mother was born on November 25th.
Oh.
It's her birthday. Actually, this year, if she was alive, she would be turning 102.
Oh, wow.
She was born in 1921. And I know that because she was my mother, number one. And number two is because that was the alarm code in our house.
1922?
1921.
1921?
In Crown Heights.
Okay, good to know.
That was the alarm. The house has been pushed down, I think. But that was the code. But I remember when I want to talk about Thanksgiving is I remember when I was in elementary school in Yeshiva of Eastern Parkway. I don't know if it still exists or not, but I know it's not on Eastern Parkway, that's for sure. But they used to keep us in school on Thanksgiving extra long.
Why?
They didn't want us to have Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay.
I remember one year in 8th grade, the English teachers didn't show up because it's Thanksgiving. You can't make guys that are in public school in the morning that are not necessarily from the observant community, you can't make them come in the afternoon on Thanksgiving to teach.
Yeah.
But we were not allowed to leave the building. And I remember this clearly in 8th grade that they kept us, usually we got out at 4:30. They kept us until 6:30 on Thanksgiving. So that we shouldn't leave to Chas v'sholom, partake in a Thanksgiving dinner anywhere. And you know what? And we discovered like halfway through the afternoon that there was no teachers, no rebbes, and no teachers. There was nobody in the building except us. And some of us were afraid to leave, and some of us just said, "I'm getting out of here." They just left. But I didn't leave. I waited. I don't know if I waited till 6:30. I think around, if I remember clearly, and I don't know why I remember just that, but I think I left around like 5:30 or 5:45. I said, "That's it. I'm getting out of here. My parents are having a Thanksgiving dinner. I'm going."
That is something else. Speaking of a blast sort of from the past, today is the, I don't even know how many years it's been, but
60
something years since JFK was assassinated.
No, 59. No, he was killed in 63.
Okay.
And now
it's 2023. 22.
Yeah, so how much is that? That's 59 years, right?
I'm going to let you take the fall for that. I don't know.
No, it's 59 years.
Okay, so it's been 59 years since JFK was assassinated.
Believe it or not, I remember it.
Do you remember?
Yep.
What do you remember from November 22nd?
It was Friday. It was Friday. I was sitting in my parents' dining room with a math tutor.
You were a kid. How old are you? You don't want to date
8,
yourself?
9, 10, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
15,
8,
16?
8 or 9. No, I
17?
wasn't 15 or 16. I was like 8 or 9. I remember the teacher. I remember the guy that was tutoring me. It was a Lubavitcher guy with a red beard, actually. I even know his name, but I'm not going to say his name. I know his children. I met his children subsequently. And when I used to see them, I used to remind them that their father was sitting with me when John Kennedy was shot. Anyway, we got the news over the radio. My mother was listening to the radio in the kitchen that the president was shot.
Oh, my gosh.
And this guy heard, what? The president was shot? And he just got up and ran out of the house.
Where'd he go?
I don't know. I don't know where he went, but he was a Baal Tshuva. He was new to Chabad. He had some, academic knowledge. He was a mathematician. And he was tutoring me on I don't know, long division, what's the other thing called? Fractions, something like that.
Nothing you remember.
Nothing you
remember or use.
I didn't know it then, or I don't know it now. Right. But he ran out of the house, and I remember that shortly after that, it was around 1:00 in the afternoon that the president was killed.
I can't imagine how chaotic that must have been in the country.
Well, let's see. After that, I guess the security. He was driving in a
open motor
convertible in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories about how that happened, and to this day, almost 60 years later, there's all kinds of crazy theories about who the killer was. Lee Harvey Oswald assassinated him. Okay, and then when they arrested Lee Harvey Oswald and were taking him into custody, another guy, Jack Ruby, shot Lee Harvey Oswald and killed him. Yeah. You don't even know that. You don't even know that stuff, right? That was chaos. That was a chaotic time. But you know what? America held it together because the vice president was Lyndon Johnson, and the next day he flew back to Washington. He was sworn into the presidency on the plane, and America goes on. America's strong.
Yeah, we really need Joe Biden to hold on tight though, because one step removed from him is Kamala Harris, and
he's holding it. He's not working too hard.
He shouldn't.
You don't have to worry about him overworking himself. He's
shouldn't.
doing good. But in terms of government, I don't know if you saw, if you flip over to Israel, they're having these back and forth negotiations.
It's the government, the Israeli politics give me a migraine. It's just like we're all celebrating, yay, Bibi Netanyahu got elected, and now it's, he's trying to form a government with two opposite sides of the coin.
Well, no, he's trying to form a government. You have 30 from members of the Knesset. Okay, you have Shas, United Torah Judaism and the religious Zionists. Now, they're being negotiated with independently, and they're being played off once against another. Now, the news this morning was, and last night was, that they are trying to organize and unify so that they have to negotiate with Netanyahu as a unit. Because just like Netanyahu has 32 seats, they have 32 seats. And he needs all of them.
Right.
So if they stick together, they can get what they want. But if they remain independent and make all kinds of crazy demands, he's going to play one against another. So that's what's going on now. Who's going to be the defense minister? Who's going to be the finance minister? Who's going to be the education minister? Those are the important things internally for Israel. Education minister, what goes on in the schools. Finance ministers, how the money is distributed, and so on.
Now, bringing it back to our side of the world, Mayor Adams ordered more spending cuts amid concerns that the city's fiscal health is about to take a serious turn for the worse in coming years. So we're a little bit into Mayor Adams' term as New York City mayor. What would you give him? An A to an F?
I think it's a lot of fluff. The only thing he has going for him is that de Blasio was the last mayor.
I know, but to be honest, is he much better?
I don't know. I met a guy last week that he is a businessman. He owns a few homeless shelters in New York.
Oh, so he's happy.
And he told me he's in the midst of building a 165 room apartment complex for homeless in Queens. And he was called by the city agency that oversees temporary housing that they needed housing for Venezuelan immigrants that just arrived in the city. When the law is in New York, he said to me the following: you can come to the welfare department in New York. There's a law in New York that if you come and you claim you're homeless, they have to put you up.
That's amazing.
Okay.
First of all, why are there homeless people on the street then?
You can because they're mentally ill. That's why they're dysfunctional. But if you have your stuff together, you can. You said you can come in your Rolls Royce with your Rolex on and say I'm homeless. And they have to put you up in an apartment for the night. They may have to put you in the New York Hilton or the Waldorf Astoria or the Plaza Hotel if it's still open, or in one of these homeless shelters.
I think you should try it.
This guy, I don't want you try it.
I think you should try it.
You're a young, energetic reporter.
They're going to put you in the Waldorf Astoria. Go ahead.
Not necessarily. They might put me in this guy's. They have to give you 2 rooms. You don't get 1 room. That's the law. You get 2 rooms.
Are you kidding
me?
So
this guy, he got called. He said, we're sending Venezuelan immigrants to your shelter in Queens. He says, it's under construction. It's not ready. He says, they're coming anyway.
Oh, my gosh.
And they arrived. Yeah. And they were in there. The plumbing wasn't ready. It wasn't completely built yet.
This is better than sitting on the street, I guess.
But they arrived.
I don't know. That's
Speaking
of homelessness, I see a title here on Yeshiva World News: Mental health crisis. Psychologists can't meet the demand for people needing therapy. America's mental health therapists are facing a tidal wave of patients seeking help for anxiety and depression, creating an unprecedented shortage of professionals who can treat the disorders. According to a survey from the American Psychologists Association, APA, 6 in 10 psychologists say they are completely booked as therapists remain in high demand from the adverse mental health effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Well, you had Dr. Feiner on here Saturday night.
Yeah, I did. And honestly, if you're not sure what to do for your career, now's probably the time to get into the mental health, side of things, because it's booming.
All healthcare this day and age is king. In the aftermath of COVID, of course, you could write your own ticket, so to speak. But from what I listened to, Dr. Feiner, he deals almost exclusively with people from
community.
Our community.
From community, and there's a lot of OCD in terms of how they practice Yiddishkeit and what's deemed as, this is okay and this is not okay. It was a very good open discussion. People can go check that out on Meaningful People podcast. We also had a discussion with Akiva Perlman, who also is involved in this Indian.
Well, listen, you have OHEL that provides that kind of mental health therapy and services for people, and there's a lot of people in that business. And like we were saying yesterday, I don't mean to get back on the subject of rejection letters, but life is hard.
Yeah,
life is hard. It crushes a lot of people, and you got to push back.
Yeah, I mean...
you got to push back. You know what? You were saying yesterday, if you don't mind me bringing it up again, just briefly. I know we're almost finished today, but I was thinking to myself last night, you have this vision, this fantasy vision of people, no one getting a rejection letter for a camp, for a school, for a seminary. Well, look what's happened in the last few weeks. We started learning Pasha Bereshis. Hashem created the world. Everything was going great. was a beautiful world, trees, moon, stars, Gan Eden, and then by the end of the first parsha, he wanted to destroy the world. He said, "Whoops, this is not working out." And Noah came along, and he wasn't going to destroy everybody, but he said, he'll let Noah and his son survive. Everybody else got to go. And then before you know it, you have Avram Avinu is doing battle against the rest of the world. He has a son, Yishmael. His wife Sarah wants him to throw Hagar, her I don't know what she was, but she had Yishmael, her co-wife, whatever you want to call it, and of course Sarah couldn't have children at the time. You have to expel Yishmael and Hagar. They got to be thrown out of the house. And then you have the Akedah, and they finally have a son, Yitzchak, at the age of 100. Go put him on the mountain, tie him up, and kill him. What are you talking about rejection letters for? That's nothing. That's like having a picnic, a rejection letter that unfortunately you're on a waiting list. And we didn't even get to Esau and Yaakov yet. Now we're first going to get to this week.
Yosef.
Esau and Yaakov.
Yeah.
Yaakov and Esau, they're twins. They're being born. They're being born this week, and the Pashas told us that we're.
I don't think that's. Come on, I don't think. I hear what you're saying.
Nachi, that is the foundation of life. Look at why didn't.
So we should encourage. We should encourage it. We should encourage rejection.
Why did Hashem just say, Bereshis bara Elokim, God created the heaven and the earth, and everything was great. Have a nice day.
I don't know. If you agree with my father, feel free to leave us a message on WhatsApp or email us at thedailythread@meaningfulminute.org. Of course, make sure to sign up for our WhatsApp status. We have news that's being posted there all day, clips from these episodes, but more than that, there are things happening all day in the world, and we are making sure to report it there in a nice, bakavadik, and
in a way that you could digest it without being too annoyed or disturbed.
Or nauseous. Anyways, have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.